the principal thing I use is this model. Okay? So let's go down the list. We have, again, the outer cortex. Okay? And we have the inner medulla. Here are those pyramids that I mentioned to you from the other model. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Most people have 6 to 8 pyramids in their kidneys. So they took the average, they gave you 7 here. Okay, so that's the next item, renal pyramid. Okay, then you see how each pyramid empties into a tube. That tube is called the minor calyx. So if we have 7 pyramids, we're going to have 7 minor calyces. And those calyces come together to form a bigger tube. The bigger tube is the major calyx. Okay? And the major calyx finally empties into this wider beginning of the ureter. And that wider beginning of the ureter is called the, did I mention it?
Renal column.
No, it's not the renal column. It's the pelvis. It's the renal. You better add that to the list. The pelvis. This big, wider funnel area at the very beginning of the ureter. That's called the renal pelvis. Now, the renal column is the material that's in between the pyramids. Okay, so here, this stuff here and here, it's like things that look like they're part of the cortex that dip down in between the pyramids. Okay, that's called the renal column. Now, the rest of this triple display list names the blood vessels. Names the blood vessels in pretty much in order. Okay? So we have the renal artery, which enters the kidney, right? The renal artery. Then we have the segmental arteries. So the first branch off the renal artery is a segmental artery. It moves into a segment of the kidney. So there will be several of those into the segments of the kidney. Then the segmental artery moves in between the lobes. So this artery right here, this tall artery here, those are interlobar arteries. Interlobar arteries. So here are interlobar arteries. You see a number of them all along here. Here's one rising up from the segmental. Okay, so you got renal artery, segmental, interlobar, heading towards the cortex. You see how the interlobars head for the cortex. When they reach the cortex, they form 2 arches coming off that. 2 arches come off. Those are called the arcuate arteries. The arches are arcuate arteries. Okay? So then we have arcuate arteries. Notice we're still arteries. We're still relatively wide vessels, still arteries. Then, those arcuate arteries give rise to these little arteries that move on up through the cortex region. Okay? All of these things over here are the interlobular arteries. Now, obviously, you're going to have to spell interlobar and interlobular carefully and correctly, so I know you know the difference. The interlobular arteries finally give rise to the afferent arteriole, which then breaks up into the glomerular capillaries, into the efferent arteriole. Okay? The renal papilla is the tip, the lower tip of the pyramid, through which a droplet of urine will enter the minor calyx. Now, please be aware that I use this model extensively. You'll have to know everything that's on this list by specific name. I'll help you. I'll come around.